Coach, first of all, let's just talk about your coaching changes. I know you've talked about it a lot over the offseason, but after spring ball, are you comfortable with where you're at with your staff?
Yeah, it's been really unusual, obviously. We went 13 years with the same coordinators, Norm and Ken, and both of them did a fantastic job. I'm just so appreciative of everything they've done. But things have changed. Norm retired and Ken moved on to another opportunity, and really pleased with the way things have gone. Phil Parker was elevated as defensive coordinator, has done a great job, and then obviously we're just thrilled to have Greg Davis join us. And it was great in February. We had everybody in place, and then we've been working hard since that time. Went through spring practice. Really pleased with the way things are going, the way where everybody's working together.
Another new member of the staff, LeVar Woods, who grew up just a little ways from here at Westline High School. One of the young guys on the staff.
Yeah, I think it's a sign of me getting older, but really excited to get two former players back involved. And LeVar's been in town for a couple of years. Did a tremendous job, when he played for us, captain in 2000. Went off, had a tremendous career in the NFL, and has been back in Iowa City for a couple of years, and he's a guy that we've had our eye on, certainly. So just really very excited to have him back in the program, on the field coaching, working with our young people. He's been great.
Coach, one more local kid, Brandon Scherf. Dennison could be a start on the offensive line. He's done some good things for you as a young guy.
He really has. He got his feet wet last year, played a lot for us during the course of the season at guard. And we've moved him out to tackle. I think that's really a better position he's better suited for. Looked very comfortable there this year. And we obviously lost a great player in Riley Reef, but I think Brandon's going to do a wonderful job out there at the left tackle position. That's an important position in any offense, and he's a tremendous young guy. I think he's got his confidence now, and really looking forward to the years ahead for him.
You mentioned Riley Reef. Your thoughts on how you feel he'll fit in Detroit?
Riley's just a tremendous young guy and an outstanding football player, and his best football's ahead of him. So, he'll do well. He's a great pick for the Lions. One thing about Riley, he's got exceptional toughness. Compare him to Marshall Yonda, and that's about as high as it gets. So, he loves playing football, works extremely hard, got a great attitude. And, I think there's no question in my mind he'll do very well in the National Football League.
I know you can't talk about it specifically, but 7 recruits in April. Is that a sign of the times with the heavy recruiting this early on, so many kids committing early?
Yeah, I think it's just a sign of the times. Things have really changed, and the speed of recruiting has really accelerated. It used to be that people came through pretty frequently in the months of June. That's when families and prospects would come through. Now it's really accelerated. I think we had about 22, 25 top prospects for our place in March and April. So everything's just going faster, including the commitments, and we're excited about the way things are going so far.
Assistant Coach Ferentz said that Coach Ferentz could be tweeting soon. Is that a verified rumor?
I don't tweet, so I haven't had a chance to read that, but I was told about that, and I'd say nothing's impossible, but we'll just see what happens down the road.
Any update on Jaleel Johnson? Everything on track for him?
As far as I know, all of our guys are in good shape, so we're, keep our fingers crossed. They all have to finish the year academically, but we're hopeful that all the guys that we signed will be with us in August.
Individually, can you talk about, I know you didn't sign them as necessarily scholarship players, but some big kids out of Siouxland here. Can you talk about individually Mike Malloy and then Alex Hammond?
Yeah, I really can't talk about anybody that hasn't signed a national letter. I wish I could, but there are a couple of young players up in this area that we're really excited about that are going to be joining our program. We expect to have them join during the fall, and we're very excited about that. Looking forward to the chance to have a chance to work with them.
And lastly, I know I think about it all the time, but are you seeing opportunities for growth this season from last season in terms of place in the Big Ten?
Well, we're hoping so. We've finished 4-4 the last 2 years. Certainly not our goal at the start of the season, but I think we're going to have a young football team right now, and I think really the message for our players is, how quickly can we improve? What can we do to maximize every opportunity in front of us right now? And the good thing about having young teams that are a little bit more inexperienced, they can improve a lot quicker. So, it's really important. I think the guys have done a good job since January to this point through the out-of-season program. Spring practice was productive, and they finished up the last 2 weeks real strongly. So, now we take a little break here and we get back in June. It's really important we maximize the summer.
How would you rate the list of question marks? Where did it start? Running back?
Well, yeah, running back's an area of interest for us, especially with Jordan Canzeri being hurt this spring. We can't count on him being back, so it really kind of limits things for us. And we have 2 freshmen coming in we think are good players, and we'll try to play to their strengths a little bit too. I think the receiver position right now, Keenan Davis spent a lot of spring being hurt, and Cavante was hurt for a little bit. So that's an area we're behind, and we've got to gain some ground there. Defensive line was an area certainly that we were concerned about, but I think the guys really did a good job this spring. We're not there yet, but I think we made good progress this spring up front.
They're both walk-ons, but a couple kids named Malloy are involved in two of those positions as walk-ons. They're good athletes. I mean, is that just too much to ask at this point of their career?
You know, unfortunately, I can't speak about anybody that hasn't signed on the national level, so
okay.
I've got to pass on that one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, where are your 6 NFL draft picks going to come from this year?
That's a great question. that may be a stretch for us this coming year, but it's interesting if you look at our senior class right now. It's not the biggest group that we've had, and certainly if you look at it from a starting standpoint, it's conceivable we might only have 5 to 8 starters, you know, so it's really going to be a smaller class. And I think that the bottom line there is that our younger guys are going to have to step up and do a great job. Guys like James Morris, Chris Kirksey that have played, they're going to have to act like seniors. CJ Fedorowicz on the offensive side. So we're going to need some underclassmen to really do a good job, I think, and bridge that gap a little bit for us.
You should have a pretty solid offensive line, though, shouldn't you?
I think we have a chance, and that's interesting. Again, you know, we only have 2 seniors up front, James Ferentz and Matt Tobin, but I think the guys made progress. We've got some young players that we think are very capable. Brendan Sherritt being one of them, and you know, he's got a chance to be a really good player, not just a good player.
Yeah, he played a lot this past year.
He did, and I think he looks a lot more comfortable now.
So positives, you just named like James Morris and things like that on defense. What other positives?
I think, you know, the guys that played last year, you look at a guy like James Vanderberg, I think will play really well for us as a senior. James Ferentz in the offensive line. CJ Fedorowicz had a great spring. You know, really did a nice job. Martin Manley at the receiver position did well. I'm enthused about our whole group of the offensive linemen, and then, excuse me, defensive line. You know, we're a little bit more inexperienced there, but those guys had a good spring. So you look at that, you look at Kirksey and Morris at the linebacker spot. Tanner Miller had a really good spring, and obviously Micah Hyde's played as much as anybody on the defense. He's really the only senior star that we've got right now that's played. Steve Begak and Joe Gaglione have played some. So, you know, there are a lot of positives, and it's a matter of getting our bells to catch up. And the other guy I'm remiss in mentioning is Mike Meyer, our place kicker, had an outstanding spring. So there's some guys that really have done a good job, and they'll have to be the staples of our team right now, and then the other young guys have to get caught up.